all the Philadelphia Eagles had to do to improve their playoff chances, NFC East chances, and NFC number 1 seed chances was to beat the Chicago Bears and hope for a Dallas Cowboys loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And what do you know? Doug Pederson comes through with the victory in overtime over Dallas, and the Eagles have an opportunity to lock down this division outright next week on Christmas Eve against Dallas, and Dougie P was all juiced up about it following that 52-yard pick six off Dak Prescott to give the Jags the win in overtime after Jacksonville was down multiple scores late in this game. Now, coming your way on our pregame show, we're going to give you the best Eagles news, rumors, analysis, statistical breakdowns, and interact with the Fly Eagles Fly family. But first, the Cowboys lost in a crucial spot here in December, and nothing gets better than a Dallas Cowboys choke job. So I'm going to put on the cowboy hat, and I'm going to tell y'all out there to say it with me right now, because this is fantastic news, because the Cowboys lost in a big spot. How about them Cowboys? Type F Dallas in the chat, because my goodness, this Sunday got oh so much sweeter with the Cowboys losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars. To the task at hand right now, after the Eagles outlasted the Bears in a really feisty game from Soldier Field in Chicago, where the weather was porous, it was cold, it felt as though it was about 10 degrees, and it showed with the performance for Jalen Hurts, a final score of 25-20, and this was a choppy game for the Eagles. They technically avoided the trap game spot, but all throughout the day you had trap game fraudulent vibes from the Philadelphia Eagles because they really struggled in this football game offensively. Defensively, they were great, and we'll certainly get to that, but offensively, this is a team that struggled to find momentum, and they were so sloppy throughout the day. But before we continue to break this game down, it's another Philadelphia Eagles win. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles. Give me that dub right now in the comments section to celebrate this Philadelphia Eagles win over the Chicago Bears. So you look at it from a team perspective. Defensively, as I said, the Eagles were absolutely fantastic. But when it came to securing the football, the Eagles turned the football over 3 times. And a couple of people were saying this in the comment section during our watch party. This has a lot of Washington vibes. And I could totally sense that. The Eagles were lacking ball control. They turned the rock over 3 times. They let the Bears stay in the game with some wonky plays for Justin Fields out of structure. And I had said all throughout the week, like, the Bears will not beat the Philadelphia Eagles unless they turn the football over and Justin Fields makes just these innate, unique one-of-one plays, which he's capable of doing once everything breaks down. And that's exactly what the identity of this game is and how everybody's going to remember it, as Justin Fields, as a passer with a depleted wide receiving core, wasn't all that good. But as a runner, he was great. And he was able to pick up first down after first down, 15 carries for 95 yards. But this Eagles defense outside of that, one of my keys to the game, just having disciplined pass rush lanes. And this is a team in Philadelphia that was able to get after the quarterback, but Justin Fields, once things broke down, he broke tackles. You can do everything right against a young quarterback in Justin Fields like you did today, and still he's able to gash you with some monumental plays. But to round out today, 6 sacks after sacking Daniel Jones 7 times last week, Josh Sweat with 2, Hassan Reddick with 2. That brings him to 12, by the way. Josh Sweat able to surpass his career high. Javon Hargrave had 2. That puts him in double digits for a defensive tackle, which is really, really impressive. And that was one of the calling cards for this football game. There's a lot to still discuss on today's show. First up, just want to tell you about our presenting sponsor in Fetch. We're making our Eagles watch party and our Eagles postgame show possible. Fetch is a super easy and free-to-use app that lets you earn rewards on literally everything that you buy. You can scan any physical receipt or e-receipt, and you will earn points for all of your purchases. And the process only takes seconds. You don't have to worry about where the receipt is from or what's on it. So we're showing you here how simple it is to use. All you do, open up the Fetch app, press the orange camera button, snap a photo of your receipt, then you hit submit, and you'll see that confetti pop showing you that you've earned more reward points. It's a simple process. You can also click the e-receipt function to get rewarded for your Amazon purchases or other online shopping by syncing your email account. This is cool too. If you sync your email account to your account, you can also get points back for all of the super chats that you send us here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. You can then return and redeem those points for gift cards at places like Amazon, Starbucks, or any of the hundreds of retailers and restaurants available. Fetch is available, iPhone, Android device, and if you use our link as well as our promo code, you get 5,000 bonus points back. That is the equivalent to a free $5 gift card. Let's talk about this game from a macro perspective, because really there's so much to unpack here on top of the Eagles winning and outlasting Chicago and the Dallas Cowboys just falling apart and cratering to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I thought the game plan to start this game was a problem, and that's why I have some concerns about this football team going into the playoffs. How are they going to respond once defenses throttle them to a certain degree and confuse them? Today, the Bears were able to do that. They were able to disguise some coverages, force Jalen Hurts into a couple of interceptions. He had thrown 3 interceptions going into this game total all year. He had 2 in the first half alone. Miles Sanders had that fumble. That was the 3rd turnover for Philadelphia. But this is a rhythmic offense for the Eagles. This is an offense in which, for Jalen Hurts, I think he's an MVP candidate. I'm not sure if he can go through his progressions, read the field, break you down as a passer, and gash you through the air. So how will the Eagles respond in a type of game where it gets ugly, in which the other team dominates time of possession and they force turnovers? Turnovers can rear its ugly head at some point in a playoff game, in a football game. And the 2 tests that the Eagles have had this year, a loss to Washington, a close game to the Bears, it's been a very similar identity of where you turn the rock over, you don't convert on 3rd downs, you have a confusing game plan in which the Eagles were just throwing go route after go route, continuing to throw it as compared to running the football. And I thought that the Bears were prone to giving up big plays in the pass game. That is the fundamental foundation for how to beat this Eagles team. You get them out of rhythm. You get them out of whack, and then they might get sloppy because they're not able to find that rhythmic offense, and they struggle to manufacture and put points on the board. Now, this is what I will say, and my boy Seeps, producing the show today, was saying the same thing. The Eagles in a down game today still dropped 25, and really it wasn't that close because the Bears scored a garbage time touchdown. Against the Texans on Thursday Night Football earlier this year, in a down game, they still scored 29 points. So that's how good the system is and the offensive talent. And then the defense is really getting after it. But something to keep an eye out for here going into the last 3 games of the regular season as the Eagles look to secure that number 1 seed. And let me give you the playoff odds here. And this is why you subscribe to the show. We were able to pick up about 500 new subscribers on our watch party. For those of you still watching right now, comment real one. And if you do type real one, I know that you're a real one. With the Cowboys overtime loss, the Eagles' magic number to get the number 1 seed in the NFC, it is 1. They need to win 1 of their final 3 or have the Vikings or 49ers combined lose 1. We almost had the Vikings lose yesterday on Saturday. The 13-1 Eagles, now 3 up on Dallas in the NFC East with 3 games to go. They can lock up the division with a win on Christmas Eve over the Dallas Cowboys. So that is how things shake out in terms of the playoff picture. As for A.J. Brown, another great game and another sample size as to how he's been able to basically single-handedly change this Eagles offense. You get a number 1 weapon like this, and Dallas Goedert's going to come back next week, and it allows DeVonta Smith to have more than 100 yards receiving. It opens up the run game because defenses aren't going to stack the box because they know Smitty, A.J. Brown, Quez Watkins, they can go deep. They can run a variety of routes. But you get a guy like this, and it really does just change everything about the outlook of your offense. 16 targets today, and a lot of those were go routes that I didn't agree with. One of them, Jalen Hurts' interception. 9 catches, 181 yards. This guy, as a playmaker on the outside, has had a profound impact on this Eagles offense. And this is a team in Philadelphia that is just so coached to a certain degree that even if they play a down game, they're still able to win a game like they did today. All right, we're going to start taking your questions as well as your super chats. And for those of you watching live, we'll continue to stay live as long as some of your donations come in. Emmanuel Henderson, hey, brother, thanks for a Super Bowl. Let's get ready for the Cowgirls. A super show, he said. Hey, super show today to everybody who tuned into our watch party. Absolutely awesome. It was a straight-up blast. One of the more successful watch parties in the history of Philadelphia Eagles now. And now the focus shifts to next week. The Eagles are 13-1. The Vikings are 11-3. The 49ers are 10-4. The Buccaneers are in the 4th seed at 6-7. So barring a collapse, it looks as though home field in the NFC will run through the great city of Philadelphia. To our guy, Cool Reigns, how about them Eagles? The Cowboys choked, and they suck so bad they are overrated. This is back-to-back weeks for the Cowboys in which they almost lost to the Houston Texans, and today they lost on the road to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have a very good defense. Their offense has some playmakers, but Dak Prescott this year has been completely average, and I don't trust Mike McCarthy in a big spot if the Cowboys and Eagles were to meet in a playoff game. If the Cowboys were to have to go on the road to take on a Niners team, which is a realistic possibility at this point. They are frauds. And until the Cowboys actually do something late in the playoffs, I am not going to believe in them. All right, appreciate all of you for watching our post-game show. We are still going to stay live right here on Eagles Now for an Eagles Now happy hour. Beat the Bears. That's exactly what the Eagles did, and the Jaguars took down the Dallas Cowboys. For all of you who support us all the time, we appreciate that. And if you made it this far and you're not subscribed, you're making a mistake. But you can correct that mistake by subscribing right now.